Right now, you're about to overpay by a few $100 on a set of tires. And the guy at the counter is quietly counting on it. Look at this. A Douglas touring tire on a Walmart shelf runs about $60. A comparable Goodyear Assurance one aisle over runs well past $100. Same rubber compound family, same manufacturer. The only real difference? The brand name on the tire. 7 Walmart tires quietly built by the same giants charging double or triple for the badge. Stick around for all 7 and 3 you should skip. Number 1. Douglas. Walk the Walmart tire aisle and you've seen Douglas 100 times without looking twice. Most people assume it's just another generic budget name. Here's what almost nobody notices. Douglas is a Walmart exclusive line manufactured by Goodyear, one of the biggest tire companies on the planet. The touring line runs the same DOT, mandated safety testing and UTQG rating process as anything wearing the Goodyear name, just without the extra tread life warranty stapled onto the price. Here's the number that matters. A Douglas Touring AS in a common size runs around $64 to $70. The comparable Goodyear Assurance all-season, same size class, runs about $115. That's over $200 saved across a full set. You're not buying a knockoff. You're buying Goodyear's base rubber without Goodyear's marketing budget riding along. Douglas isn't even Goodyear's only hidden value brand. The next one's been hiding in plain sight since before World War II. Number 2, Kelly Edge. Kelly has been part of the Goodyear family since 1935, longer than most drivers have been alive, and it still operates as Goodyear's other value-focused Walmart line. The Edge is built for commuters who want dependable all-season grip without paying for every feature stacked onto the Assurance lineup. Here's the comparison. A Kelly Edge Touring in a common sedan size runs around $68 to $70. A comparable Goodyear in the same class runs well past $90, sometimes over $100. Same tread compound research, same corporate testing standards, a real gap in what you pay for it. Before the rest of the list, one thing about how this channel runs. No tire company pays us. No sponsorships. No dealership placements. Every tire here earns its spot by clearing the same 4 checks. First, the UTQG treadwear rating. Useful, but only within the same manufacturer. A 600 rated Goodyear and a 600 rated Continental aren't tested against each other, so don't treat the number as universal. Second, the load index. Your replacement tire has to meet or exceed what's listed on your door jamb sticker, full stop. Third, the speed rating. Even if you never touch that speed, it's part of the tire's design capability, and downgrading it downgrades the tire. Fourth, the DOT date code. 4 digits for the week and year built. Rubber age is sitting in a warehouse, whether it's ever been mounted or not. Run those 4 checks, and most of the premium badge markup stops making sense. Starting with a brand that just changed hands for billions, and most shoppers never noticed. Number 3, Cooper. Cooper spent decades building a reputation for dependable truck and SUV tires entirely on its own. Then in 2021, Goodyear paid $2.5 billion for the whole company. Not a rescue, a strategic acquisition. Goodyear folding one of North America's best-known independent tire makers straight into its own portfolio. Here's the math. A Goodyear Assurance, all season in a compact size, runs about $127. The closest Cooper equivalent runs about $104. Same Big 3 manufacturing muscle, a quarter less at the register. Cooper isn't the only old name that quietly changed hands. The next one's been owned by a German engineering giant for decades, and it still gets treated like a bargain bin brand. Number 4, General. General still gets mistaken for filler by shoppers who don't know what's actually behind the name. Here's the part nobody connects. General has been owned by Continental for decades. Continental develops new tread compounds and construction techniques for its flagship line first. Years later, once the expensive development is already paid for, that same technology filters down into General's lineup. What the industry openly calls hand-me-down Continental technology. Here's the proof. A General touring tire in a common sedan size runs around $86. The comparable Continental runs about $98. You're not buying a copy. You're buying Continental's own research wearing a quieter badge. The next brand gets written off as cheap for the exact wrong reason. The tires other companies chose to put on it at the factory. Number 5, Kumho. Kumho still gets called the cheap Korean tire. The automakers picking factory tires for brand new vehicles clearly disagree. Founded in South Korea in 1960, Kumho supplies original equipment tires to Hyundai, Kia, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz, brands that don't hand out a factory contract to rubber that can't perform under real inspection. A comparable Kumho touring or all-season tire typically runs noticeably less than an equivalent Michelin or Bridgestone, while carrying the same balanced ride, wet road confidence, and everyday durability that earned it those OE contracts in the first place. That's not a coincidence. It's the same testing bar every automaker on that list demands before they'll put their name on the tire. You're not experimenting. You're buying engineering that already passed a German automaker's inspection before it ever reached a Walmart shelf. The next brand just picked up an OE contract most shoppers haven't even heard about yet. Number 6, Nexen. Nexen still gets dismissed on price alone. Here's what most people miss. Nexen's tires leave the factory on Hyundai and Kia, and in recent years, the company has expanded its OE business to models from BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, and even Porsche. That's not a contract handed out lightly. Automakers pick suppliers that can consistently hit strict performance and reliability standards at scale, and Nexen simply doesn't charge the brand premium some competitors do for clearing that same bar year after year. For everyday commuting and highway driving, that gap adds up to a real amount saved over premium alternatives from a company several luxury automakers already trust with their own name on the line. Last one on the good list, and it's the ownership almost nobody standing in the aisle actually knows. Number 7, Firestone. Firestone has been owned by Bridgestone since 1988, longer than most buyers in the aisle have been driving. Compare the two and you're already looking at products from the same global company. Here's the receipt. The destination lineup delivers comfortable highway manners and solid tread life, and it's typically priced $30 to $40 less per tire than a comparable Bridgestone dueler. Over a full set, that gap adds up fast. You're still buying from Bridgestone's manufacturing network. You're just choosing the name that keeps more of that money in your pocket. And now, 3 tires to skip. Not every cheap tire is a hidden bargain, and this is where spending a little more actually changes your day-to-day experience behind the wheel. None of these are unsafe. They're compromises daily drivers tend to notice sooner than they'd like. Number 1, Forcium. The price grabs attention for a reason. Owners consistently report rising road noise as the miles add up, along with inconsistent tread life and less confidence in heavy rain. Fine for a car that rarely leaves the driveway, not the tire for a daily commute. Number 2, Fullway. About as cheap as a passenger tire gets, and it'll get you home in an emergency. Against established brands, it falls behind on wet grip, ride refinement, and long-term durability. The trade-off shows up in comfort and lifespan, not on day one. Number 3, Accelera. The price is appealing. The reviews on tread life and all-weather performance are mixed enough that most tire professionals point buyers toward General, Cooper, Kumho, or Hankook instead for the same rough money. Not unusable, just outmatched by better established alternatives sitting right next to it on the same shelf.